Welcome to my presentation about my PDP Professional Development Plan. When I was a teenager at high school, I was interested in planning for events at our school. For example, scheduling, what programs I like to run in the event, what people should be invited, or what materials we need for that event and what sources. As much as I grown up and it was the time to find what major I like to study in university, I found industrial engineering as the most major which fit to my interest. So I got a master and bachelor degrees in industrial engineering in one of the best universities in Iran. And here in Canada, I got a CPM certificate from a Canadian institute. CPM is Control Project Management. When I was in Iran, I was research assistant in Ministry of Trading in Iran. I worked there 2 years, and I have some publication when I was working, like as international papers and international books and articles. After that, I like to experience what I learned in practical environment. So I worked as an import-export manager for 2 years in a private company, and it was a very good experiment for me. I liked that time. But when I immigrated to Canada, my situation has totally changed, like as other immigrants. My working experience in Iran was about a time which I was just married. I didn't have any kid. But when I immigrated to Canada, I had a 2 years old boy. So I was new immigrant, and I was a mom. I should struggling with real difficulties in the new culture, and at the same time I should raise my kid as well. It take a bit long time for me to arrive in the society and to discover this new culture. Right now I am a student at VCC, and I'm raising 3 kids. All of them are small, not young, because they are just little kids. So I am a busy mom. I just mentioning 2 these items because I wanted to make a realistic analysis about my current situation. I like to do so many things, but of course I cannot because I don't have lots of free times. About my strengths, one of my first strengths is I am patient. I can wait because the life teach me you should wait for achieve something, and I can go long ways. I'm determined. At the same time, when I decide to do something, I will do it. Finally, I will do it. I don't give up. And I'm detail oriented. I don't know, maybe because I studied this major, I got detail oriented, or it is something in my characteristic, but right now I think I am detail oriented. But one of the most major my weaknesses is that I'm perfectionist. So I suffered most of the time because of my perfectionism. I want to do everything in the best shape, and I should work on this. I should overcome. I should work on this weakness because I should accept if I want to work, I cannot have everything in the best shape. I cannot spend time as long as same as before with my kids. I cannot have a clean home same as before, and so many things because we have some limited sources the most limited sources is our time. Uh, I have limited social network because I couldn't arrive and involve in the social activities so much, and I couldn't make lots of connections. And I have a lack of oral and written English language proficiency. I mean, if I want to study at university or and taking giving good lectures, presentation, or working in a professional jobs and be successful in meeting and fast speaking or listening, I need time to work on it. I should work on it more. The field which I have experience about that is about supply chain management. I want to provide you a brief explanation or description about what is supply chain management actually. Supply chain focuses on the flow of material and information. When a factory produces something, of course, it needs to supply it needs to buy some materials from its supplier. We decide what suppliers you should have, how many suppliers, and about the customers. We forecast demands, and at the same time we should control the inventory of the production and determine the capacity and something like this. Of course, not all these duties will be done by one person, but we are working as a team. And I like to be a member of team. At the first and the junior level of the entry of supply chain jobs would be supply chain coordinators. So I plan to reach this goal by next 2 years, working as a supply chain coordinator. And for 5 next years, I wish to work as a supply chain manager. So why I select supply chain? Because I have work experience and background about that job, and also it is my field of interest, and the future for this job is good. Another thing which I realized about that when I met an advisor in BCIT, she encouraged me to focus in this field of my major because there are not enough educated people in this area in Vancouver, mostly on logistic concepts. So I encourage more to follow this route, but I know I should go step by step. I should, one of the first thing I should provide myself to that is to improve my soft skills. So how can I improve my soft skill? It's Canadian experience. And one of the easiest way, as Reza mentioned, is volunteering, because volunteering is easier than finding a job, finding even
Yes,
entry-level job. And maybe I can be volunteer and at senior centers or people who are some disabilities or any social communities. Just make connections and do something helpful for our community. The other thing, should I work on it, which is kind of hard skill, is improve English skills. I know English skills is not kind of knowledge, because it's a kind of language we should speak in this country. So I plan to finish, like as both of you, I plan to finish speaking, listening, and writing reading pathway 8 until next 6 months. And after that, I should, at the same time, I should practice more and more listening, speaking, reading, and writing. After that, I wanted to take 2 courses per semester at VCIT. I selected VCIT because it has lots of practical courses which I can fit to my major. And the part-time program which VCIT offer is so flexible. And another thing I need is to build a wider network. I should attend workshops, joining to Industrial Engineering Association and meetings, and signing up for a course at the community centers to know more people, for example, swimming classes or any sport classes, something like that. If I will be lucky and I find a job as a supply chain coordinator, it's very good. But if I'm not lucky, I'm still lucky because I have another plan. I like to work as a project coordinator or project manager, which I have a Canadian certificate of that. And project coordinator, which duties are somehow similar to supply chain coordinator, but it's focused on the scheduling, the cost, budgeting, resources defining for any project. And both of them has same salary, about the median annual salary of $50,000 a year. At the end, I think it doesn't matter how slowly we go, as long as we don't stop. It's something that we should say to each other in any country or a new country. Thank you for listening to me.